Welcome to a new episode of the BDS mini-series. Today I'm talking about another universal symptom, the cough. We've all coughed at some point, but few people stop to think about what this symptom truly represents in human life. A cough can be brief or chronic. It can appear in a cold, pneumonia, asthma, allergies, reflux, a viral infection, heart failure, or complex lung diseases. Sometimes it's mild. Sometimes it's exhausting, suffocating, disrupts sleep, and generates pain, shame, fear, and isolation. There are people who spend entire nights unable to sleep because of their cough. Children who end up vomiting from coughing so much. Older adults who are terrified of choking. People with chronic coughs who stop talking, going out, or sharing social spaces. That's why FARO insists on something fundamental. Never minimize a universal symptom. Because behind a cough there can be infection, inflammation, physical suffering, emotional exhaustion, or even a profoundly burdened life. Biomedical medicine understands the cough as a reflex defense mechanism. Its function is to protect the airways and expel secretions, irritants, or foreign bodies. It can originate from multiple causes: respiratory infections, asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, allergies, smoking, gastroesophageal reflux, environmental pollution, lung diseases, heart failure, and adverse effects of medications. Clinical evaluation is essential, especially if there is difficulty breathing, coughing up blood, persistent fever, weight loss, chest pain, or a prolonged cough. FARO never replaces medical diagnosis or treatment. However, it aims to broaden the perspective on the human symptom. According to Reich-Geerd-Hamer's approach, some respiratory symptoms can be related to conflicts involving fear, territorial threats, anxiety, or a sense of invasion. Breathing represents life. Therefore, when a person experiences intense stress, constant fear, psychological pressure, or a feeling of lacking personal space, the entire body can enter a state of hypervigilance. Coughing appears biologically as an attempt at expulsion. From FARO's perspective, this doesn't mean that every cough is emotional, but rather recognizing that body, stress, and human experience can interact profoundly. There are people who literally feel suffocated by their reality. Violent environments, suffocating relationships, work overload, constant anxiety, chronic fear, existential exhaustion. And the body also speaks from this place. For Carl Jung, bodily symptoms can also contain symbolic meaning. Coughing can be understood metaphorically as something trying to escape, repressed words, unexpressed pain, contained anger, silence, sadness. Many people spend years keeping quiet about deep conflicts, emotions, or suffering. The body then erupts where consciousness can no longer process. The Jungian shadow encompasses everything we try to hide or deny. And sometimes the body expresses what the psyche cannot put into words. From Ken Wilber's holistic perspective, a cough must be analyzed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Biological level: viruses, inflammation, allergies, lungs, immune system. Emotional level: anxiety, fear, chronic stress, anguish. Behavioral level: smoking, pollution, insufficient rest habits. Social level: inhuman work rhythms, environmental pollution, precarious employment, toxic exposure. Existential level: a feeling of suffocation, loss of meaning, inner exhaustion. FARO rejects both physical and psychological reductionism. A person is not just a lung, but neither is they just an emotion. They are a complex whole. In traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, coughs are often associated with lung imbalances and qi disturbances. The lung governs breathing, interaction with the world, and also sadness. When lung qi loses harmony, symptoms such as cough, phlegm, tightness, respiratory weakness, fatigue, and a feeling of emptiness may appear. TCM also links certain respiratory problems to prolonged sadness, grief, or unprocessed emotions. Taoism teaches that a healthy life depends on harmonious flow. When existence becomes excessively rigid, rushed, or stifling, the body loses its balance. Coughs often symbolize an interruption of this natural flow. Something is irritating. Something is invading. Something is unable to circulate. Taoism reminds us that deep breathing is also a way of living deeply. Humanization. Coughs can destroy the quality of life. Many people experience extreme exhaustion, social embarrassment, fear of becoming seriously ill, insomnia, isolation, physical pain, respiratory anxiety, and a feeling of fragility. After pandemics and health crises, many people even developed a psychological fear associated with coughing. That's why FARO insists, don't just look at the symptom. Look at the human suffering that accompanies it. FARO therapy. Multilevel reading. Role of physicians and FARO nurses. Detecting warning signs. Appropriate respiratory assessment. Health education. Human support. Prevention and follow-up. Functional and emotional support. Active listening. FARO nursing does not treat a coughing lung. It accompanies people who are suffering. Role of the FARO coach or facilitator. The FARO coach does not diagnose illnesses or replace medical treatments. Their role is to help explore stress levels, emotional exhaustion, feelings of existential suffocation, toxic relationships, lifestyle habits, emotional regulation, rest and self-care, and meaning in life. The goal is not to find emotional blame, but to expand awareness and promote holistic regulation. FARO learning. Sometimes the body coughs up what life cannot express. But listening to the symptom does not mean abandoning science. It means humanizing it. FARO phrase. A cough doesn't always originate solely in the lungs. Sometimes it also originates in a life that feels suffocated. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Leave a comment if you'd like. Share this video to raise awareness. Study with ESSI, EL FARO. Learn science with awareness, because in health, knowledge isn't neutral. It's vital.